be involved in core things in the delivery, we should be our thinking system, our we should begin to think different on how to domesticate technology in our system. I found out that that is one of the major things that has brought India to where they are today. We might not know how far India has gone. India didn't have their own technology. They got their technology from the Europeans. But what happens is that they take it back to their place and domesticate it. I know a particular, okay, let me just use an example. The Prime Minister of United Kingdom today, the father-in-law, is one of the foremost uh, owner of IT company in United Kingdom. He's doing very well. He's doing a lot of government projects, but he took it back to India and he developed the company in India. And majority of people working on many of the projects are in India, and they are delivering projects for United Kingdom. That man is one of the richest men around, very silent. He actually developed the IT industry in India, and he fed into some other companies, smaller companies, large scale, medium scale, and small enterprises in India. Today, in the world, and when we go to meetings, they actually, even if an Indian person does not know anything, because he's an Indian, it's presumed that he knows. And he has an edge because they have proven all over the period that they can do it. But this was done by someone bringing in the technology. They don't just want to buy it or just get, they embrace it, went through a series of training, and it fettered into their system. It fettered into their education system. It fettered into smaller companies that are supporting the bigger companies. And from the onset, from you know institutions, educational institutions, they have begun to improve in their way of teaching to embrace those technology. An average person that went to school in India knows a level of coding, and which is a plus because that is the future. Almost everything has gone into that form of hardware software combination. So engineers we have a very big role to play in terms of this. We, like I mentioned, systems for development, the tools, technological tools can be categorized into four different forms. One is the hardware, the one that we can relate with, um, hardware, physical ones, infrastructures, if it is phone, if it is building, if it is structures, the hardware, the physical one. Then another one is the software. The software is the underlying logic that actually power the hardware. Um, Another point which we'll come back to later on, because that is where I think there is a gap in our system, is the know-how, the technical the know-how is not a physical thing, it's not tangible, but the technical know-how and other technologies. So what I've seen before I go into the more detailed uh, part of our discussion is that we lack in the technical know-how. We lack in the technical know-how. Majority of the times when I was in Nigeria, I worked in an IT firm and I worked in telecommunication. about the development, we are doing software. The maintain believe that and all that, but the major aspect of the technology, the know-how of with the comparison, we are being used as just a partner, and but we delivered the software moved over to telecommunication um, with different companies. Finally, we work. Huawei will data center working together with them. The technology, we are in Chinese language. I sat side by side with the Chinese. They can't speak English. Our people, any need they have, we will come to implement it. But what I call more of a maintenance thing, because the main research and development and the implementation is still held with the Chinese and pretty in Chinese language. So, what are we saying? And what can we do? Technology has actually advanced, and we need to make every effort to ensure that we catch up with the rest of the world in this. So, undeniably, technology has an immense impact on every facet of our lives. Daily tasks to societal functioning, technology serves as a catalyst for change and economic development, and economic development is no exception. It is shaping work processes, production methods, consumption patterns. Technology not only drives innovations, foster growth opportunities, but also present challenges to the traditional model. So, the traditional model that many societies stick to, it provides challenge because it's advancing more than what is presently available. Recent advancement in technology has transformative impacts on all industries, either directly or indirectly. So all industries, telecommunication, health, agriculture, name it, sports, everything, you know, stuff, you know, technology impacts like places of automation, digitalization, and all whatnot. Artificial intelligence, all these have come to stay, and they are turning around the whole industry, the way we live our lives. And from our own side, we need to catch up because each time we keep talking about our economy is not doing well and all that, the major reason, major factor, one of the major factor is that our economy is purely in statements that maybe P2B has been mentioning is consumption based. We are not actually into production. So economy, what it means in our own side as engineers is we don't have the technology. And once we don't have the technology, we will continue to depend on people that have technology. And our economy cannot grow. And we cannot develop as we want to develop. And even if we develop, we cannot to other places, other people that have the right kind of technology will overtake us or put us by the side in the market. Digitalization of industry driven by advancements in technology is transforming traditional processes into digital workflows, enabling businesses to streamline operations, enhance customer experiences, develop new business models. So we also need to embrace it. Production and distribution process has also been revolutionized by technology. With advanced manufacturing technologies, it has helped to improve efficiency, reducing costs for many industries. Or many environments have embraced new technologies to ensure it other companies, other countries, other regions, other environments. And what we need to do as a people is to begin to think on what we need to do so that we'll be able to have our place in what is going on all over the world. So one of my major aim of delivery today is to provoke thoughts on what we can do or what we can start doing to ensure that we begin to do things to domesticate technology in our system. Except we are able to domesticate in our processes, it will continue to be in this way. And I don't want to use the negative word, but it will go worse because these people that appears to maybe they appear that they want to help us, they are not actually trying to help us. Many a times they are trying to make us to come to a particular level whereby their market will be able, their products will be able to sell, of for them to have a big. For example, they know that if we don't have the internet, there's a limit to what some of their products that they can sell in Africa or in Nigeria. So the best thing they can do is to give us internet so that they will be able to sell or be able to have a reach. That is just the truth that happens in majority of the situation. Yes, genuinely, many of them want to help, but still, major thing is what business deal can we do, can we achieve if we are able to extend this particular thing? These guys are not for the Christmas. They are not just going throwing money around or trying to give people things. Once they give you things, there must be something that they might benefit from that in the long run. So we need to actually opt our game, begin to think, and how do we begin to go in this firm, in this line? Begin to change the way we think, begin to change, because all these things starts with imagination. Because when we talk about it this way, somebody will begin to say, how do we achieve this? Their mind will be going into manufacturing of big things or big technologies, AI, building cars, aircrafts, going to the moon, traveling and all that. We can start from the aspects that we can reach. We can start from little things, in where we are. If you are in academia, there are things that we can begin to do. There are things that we begin to incorporate into our curriculum to ensure that our teachings doesn't leave the student disadvantaged. I studied in Nigeria and I studied here in UK. And I found out that there is a close link between what is taught in the universities here with the industry than what we have theories that we have in our place. So on top of our theories, we should incorporate some stuffs, up our game, incorporate some stuffs that will help the people to be able to relate with some of the things that are obtainable in an industry. A lot have changed. During our days in school, it was just more of the YDS, more of calculus, more of all these things are wonderful because it gave us a good background that when we had opportunity in the industry, it has actually developed our thinking, our mental capacity, and what we can actually handle. But what we notice is that some of the things that were obtainable in the industry that they have already incorporated into their curriculum, we struggled with it. So I just want us to all be ambassadors in different sectors where we are. If you are in the industry, I want us to look at ways that we can become ambassadors. Different areas we are in the ministry, government parastatals, private sectors, small enterprises, medium scale enterprises, the large enterprise. What are the things that we'll begin to introduce or incorporate or actually build the underlying infrastructure, which is technology, in the people, invest in the people in that way so that we'll be able to bring out some of our ingenuity and strength in, achieving domesticating technology. So, like I mentioned, people in the that have influence in the academia, we can actually begin to review continually because one good thing about them here is that they they continue. In fact, they change their curriculum so frequently. They make every effort to ensure that what they have is pretty up to date or near to up to date. So they improve it, introduce more things in their courses. They change the course topic and everything, bringing in new things. So we can do that as well. So that in our school, especially maybe from third year up, they can begin to bring in things that will make them to relate with what is happening in the industry, not just the traditional things that you want that you have handled over the period. So new things should be coming in, year by year to improve our system so that our graduates will already have the background they need for them to be able to soar when they come out and be able to compete with in the industry. We could begin to push for stores beyond just buying softwares, technologies, implement it. Whenever you have a little issues, you run back to them. We should be able to create an environment whereby we can actually um, bring them in. They sell the technology because every nation all over the world, nobody lives in isolation. At different times, they buy technology from other people. But what they do is that when they bring it in, they get their people involved in the system, in the project, and they will learn the technology. So they are not only just buying the technology, implementing it, and live at the mercy of the people that brought it, but they will integrate it into their system, put their own people inside in the project and understand the technology. So they have domesticated the technology. Even if it's a foreign company that is coming, people on ground will be involved. They encourage their system in different ways. I will later talk about how they do some of these things, which I know that sometimes that is one of the major problems. Government policies having being a barrier to getting some of these things done. But when you are in the industry, you can actually do that. Many a times people just prefer to bring in, we don't have it, we don't know it, let us just pay. They will bring it from abroad, install it for us. They will be logging in remotely to solve our problem. So far, we deliver, about getting involved in the technology. I remember one voice over IP implementation we did for our when I was in Nigeria. We did for our call center. They just brought it from South Africa, implemented it. What we ended up doing, this thing happens, restart the server, and it keeps working again. But the underlying technology, we are nowhere close to it. We started doing a lot of things. I started learning coding. We did software part of it, but not really the actual thing. So we should begin to think in that way. We begin to think of how to do it. Many a time when we talk about it now, somebody will say, "Oh, the resources. How can I start?" We can do that within a smaller scale. Do not begin to think about building aircraft. Boeing aircraft and cars and all that. There are some small ways that we can begin to do it in our little sector. Do you know that we can implement a great bit of technology in agriculture to increase production? In different fields. I know when we talk about engineering, engineering is in different fields. Electrical, we have people, mechanical, chemical, and all that. But when we talk about agriculture, people will just say, oh, agriculture, because agriculture appears to be something low. But to be honest, one of the greatest place in the sectors in the world where technology has proven to have advanced things is agriculture. And your particular area or area specialization in engineering can be useful in agriculture. Because why am I mentioning agriculture? Because it is not is something that you need less effort to be able to sell or to market the product. Because if you go into some advanced things, you might struggle so hard to be able to be accepted that you know what you are doing and be able to sell in the industry. But it doesn't matter how the pro your your technology you implemented in the agricultural sector, people are interested in the products, and it's easy to be able to market because nobody wants to know how maybe an agricultural product were produced. What they see in the market is the product. So in our and that is what majority, a good number of companies started all over the world. They implemented things in these kind of areas, and they now increase their research and development and such advancement they have achieved in those areas. They now, implemented it in different other areas that we are hearing all over the world at the moment. So we can start small. Some of the things that small things that we can implement to ensure maybe as something like a side hustle even, or people coming together to implement to increase in agriculture products and processes, preservation, processing, and all that. Which that and those things are not so much capital intensive that you can actually do that to improve production and now get the benefits so that it will encourage you to actually do more. You might not know that Bangladesh is one of the foremost chip manufacturing companies in the world today. Bangladesh started majority of the small companies or the medium scale companies in Bangladesh started with ship repair and maintenance. But today they have continually built and built so that they are now shipbuilding. Many of the ocean liners that you see, a good number of them that are used in Europe, they are built in Bangladesh over the years. Some of those companies started, like I said, in maintenance. They started in it just it looks people look at them to be what we see in our environment as mechanics that fix cars, but they didn't stop at fixing the ship. They build ship, and their ship is reckoned with. The design of their ship is reckoned with all over the world today. So we can actually. That's why I so much appreciate what is going on in Aba. It looks as if somebody will look at it and say that it's an Aba made. But look, Aba made of yesterday is becoming something to reckon with today. So we can actually begin to do this in softwares, begin to do this AI, begin to do this network, begin to do in different aspects, chemical engineering, you know, um, in healthcare. In fact, at the moment, is medical engineering is the hub of medicine all over the world. In fact, I believe in my own understanding that our doctors that we have in Nigeria are better than in terms of what they know more than some of the doctors we have here. But because that engineering has actually helped them so much, majority of the doctors here, what they do is that then they just try to diagnose and ask you questions, they log into a system and system tells them what to do. It's as simple as that. These are the things I have first-hand interaction with, and I know what I'm talking about. I have interaction with the medical doctors. I know have interaction with the systems that do all this. Many of them don't actually cram a lot of things like our doctors do. Our doctors, we have all of things in their head. But many of them, yeah, you just log into a system. In fact, the prescription and everything they need to do is already there in the system because technology has made it possible for them. So I just want to provoke a form of thought, thinking system.
Engineer Chuks,
You know,
sorry. Begin to
yeah,
round up, please.
okay, because of time. So our thinking system of what we can begin to do so that we can now begin to domesticate, you know, technology in our system. Starting small, we can begin to push different areas, like we mentioned, academia, because I will summarize with that. Academia, industries. You know, one other major thing is partnership with um, other firms or foreign firms. Let us build more of a form of partnership. You know, let us extend our tentacles to which we have all many of us have already started doing in terms of maybe IEEE is a form of them, but to begin to build a partnership with foreign firms, foreign individuals. We begin to exchange knowledge, begin to delve into what other people are doing. Partnership is in every part of the world. In fact, a good number of companies that are delivering technology in America, and many of them come from even China, even though that the two countries are loggerheads in terms of politics. But that is the truth. Um, we finally, if I know that government regulations play a big role. If there are some different ways we can influence the government into this line, it will go a long way to help. I will summarize by saying that government regulation plays a big role. For example, there's what is called the research and development rebate in the UK. Small and medium scale enterprises, the government gives them back a percentage of the money they pay their staff and they spend on research and development every year. Many of companies claim levels of 80,000 pounds, 500,000 pounds, just to make sure that they sustain these companies in their system and domesticate technology in their system. So government role has a big role to play, which I know that is a struggle in our country, but basically we shouldn't be deterred by those, and we should continually make effort to ensure that we engage every necessary tools to ensure that we have sustainable development, boost our economy, change our lives as individuals, and all whatnot. I will stop at this if there is any questions or contribution at this point.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Engineer Chuks, for that wonderful um, exposition. And I have learned quite a number of things, challenging us to start small, domesticate technology, um, borrow them, but keep them, not just borrow them and continue to rely on them for maintenance and all, but borrow and domesticate. And then we don't have to go into big things that would strain us, but we can start very little things and then grow as the time goes on. Then we can also collaborate with other, both local and international bodies, individuals, to help us with things that we do not have or things that we do not know. Thank you so much. I'll give room for one or two questions. Um, if there are any questions for the guest lecturer, You can please raise your hand, and I'll give you the floor to ask him a question. Okay, I can see one by Dr. Charles Ikerion. Okay, Dr. Charles, please, you have the floor. Please unmute yourself.
Good
And
morning,
all
everybody.
right, thank you very much.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yeah,
can.
we can.
All right. My name is Charles Ikerion, and I'm a member of IEEE Southeast Section. I'm a lecturer at the Department of Software Engineering, FUTO, Federal University of Technology, whatever, and the current just head of department. Okay, I so much love what Engr Chuks just presented. As he said, his presentation was aimed just to provoke, or just to, ignite the light, the fire in us. And truly it achieved that. I want to add a comment to when he referred to India. What he said is absolutely correct. I was in India. I did my undergraduate in India. I did my postgraduate in India, and my PhD in Scotland. So I saw it all there in India. But one added advantage in India is the private sector also invested heavily, making use of the friendly just policies brought by the government. Truly, they are not better than us. No way, no way. Even in the UK, they are not better than us. Presently in Futo, I became just HOD 2 years ago, which will be expiring just next month. But I have reviewed the curriculum twice.
Good.
And this is in line with what Engineer Chuks just said. We are always putting into place the industry requirements, the trending areas that if you produce graduates from that areas, they will be relevant and ready to work. So, but from my experience here, so many things are not working for us. And these are somehow self-induced obstacles. Just like what he said, that we use a lot of products here, but we think that we are into technology. Truly, nobody is coming here just to develop their place. They are here just to make business. They are here to make profit. We are using a lot of software, a lot of applications in different areas, but the players, the owners of this software, they're making their money. So what I'm trying to say is we have the skills. The infrastructure is very, very poor. I'm talking from the academia point of view. We don't have that infrastructure. We need sincere collaborations. But when an institution or an organization is collaborating with you, they are looking for something to gain as well. They are not there 100% for you. So we need to understand this. So from that, I want to ask
Yeah.
part of what we have in software engineering.
Yeah.
So what it helps to integrate the dedicated seamlessly. we introduced this course recently, but this is what I did in my PhD, which took me from Scotland to Mumbai to New Delhi to Chandigarh to Karnataka, so many cities, especially to Infosys, that is owned by Nayaran Moti, whom you just referred to earlier. So that was what they were doing. Indians started practicing this, but without the name DevOps. DevOps is just, for me, is just a buzzword.
Sir, please, can
Yeah.
you begin to round up because of our time?
All right. So uh, it's just a buzzword, but this is something that I've been practiced over the years. Before the name, somebody, I think the Germans, there's a company I also work with in Germany that coined all this way. So that is a story for another day. So I don't know. I'm looking for a collaboration for DevOps. I don't know if within your circle, if you have anything like that.
Um, Thank you so much, Charles, for a wonderful. At least it's an attestation to what we are talking about. Um, these things are practical and are real. There are different collaborations in that sector, but many a times is um, the particular areas, people that are willing to use the particular um, structure that you have, architecture that you have in place. We can actually take it off this conversation later and can discuss on that. But the major thing about some of these things is that have they come to develop trust in what you are talking about? The major way I encourage people to do these things is that start from maybe somewhere local that will have an attestation that you have implemented this in their system and it's working, even if it means doing it without making much profit. I have worked with a good number of engineers from Nigeria that are contractors in my company here. These are the things. The first question people will ask you is that, where have you implemented this? Because nobody wants to take a risk. The other side of it is that anybody that you have, this not talking to you individually, but every one of us, if you have one single opportunity to collaborate, make sure you maintain professionalism, make sure you maintain integrity. If you are saying that you are coming for a meeting by this time, come by this time. If you are SLA, service level agreement in so and so number of days, keep to it. One of the challenges I had as an individual is that many of our engineers, you engage them in stuff. Sometimes you call them from, there will be an issue, you call them from now to next generation, they won't pick their call. And everybody is stuck. And they have maintained this. I think it has to do with the culture. So as a people, I want to encourage us. One, like you mentioned, start with somewhere local that you can, or somewhere that you can even implement, even if it's almost free of charge, so that it will be as it's working somewhere, an attestation that is working, then you can build on that. But basically, it's possible. Yeah, I will leave it at that because of time.
Thank you very, very much, Engineer Chuks and Dr. Charles. I'm not seeing any other hands up, and we already 11:04. So I'll quickly round up this meeting. But I'm sure that we have had a very good time together. Other conversations can continue outside this meeting. I'm sure that Engineer Chuks will be available to answer other questions as we drop to him. I would like to call on the chair of WIE, IEEE Nigeria Southeast Subsection, Choma Oleka, to please give a vote of thanks to our guest lecturer and close this meeting.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Even though I joined late, but I was able to pick one or two notable things from you. Anytime we call on you to please remember us here. I personally love the assurance you gave us this morning that those ones out there are not better than us. It's telling me that I am somebody. Thank you so much for that. I pray that God bless you and then you all your endeavors over there. Thank you so much here for this opportunity and thank you everyone for being here. May God bless every one of us in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you, everybody, for being on this call. It's a wonderful pleasure to have you. We'll continue this again by the third or fourth week of June. Yes, it happens every month. We have another wonderful speaker or guest lecturer to enlighten us. As we do this, we continue to encourage ourselves and enlighten ourselves. This is IEEE Nigeria Southeast Subsection, and this is our monthly webinar. Thank you very much. God bless you. Engr Chuks, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. We are grateful.
Thank you for having me. Okay.